These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and Air here recording on Tuesday, May 23rd, after the Celtics won Game 4 against the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat's first home loss of the postseason. Sam is grinning ear to ear, and I have a bad feeling that they've pulled you back in, Sam.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm an idiot. I'm back.
Oh no! What a
but
disaster.
They looked good today. They truly.
That's what they do. That's what they do to you.
It is what they do. It is what they do. But in a vacuum, today was a really good showing for them for the most part.
That's a good way.
They went into half down 6. You thought they were kind of finished, which is fine. You're right to. You had no reason to think they wouldn't.
Yeah.
They wouldn't roll over. But in all seriousness, they really did show a little bit of backbone today. It's about time. It only took too long, probably, right? But yeah, they win 116-99, and
dominant win at that.
We have to watch another game. Gotta watch another game.
I was thinking about it during the game, and you say got to watch another game, and I landed on you landed on we have to watch another game.
Yeah.
I say we get to watch another game, but only because we get to record another podcast.
Yeah, we get to do a pregame.
I love the pod. Like, genuinely, and 2 minutes in, I'm gonna say it now. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you guys. Like, that's all I've been thinking about the past few days. I'm like, oh, I want to do another podcast. Like, it feels good to grow, and the love in the comments. We genuinely appreciate that. But yeah, Celtics picked it up in Game 4. I keep wanting to say Game 5, but they're going to a Game 5. They picked it up. The first half, they were not the better team. They were the worst team objectively in the first half of the game. I think they were playing hard, and it wasn't because they weren't playing hard enough. It was just they weren't executing well. Miami was getting too many open shots. Miami was making some tough ones too, which we can talk about. Celtics offense looked a bit too discombobulated. They weren't hitting their open shots. Second half comes out. They clamp up on defense. They're playing better on Jimmy. They're playing better on Bam. They're guarding the guys on the perimeter better. Some guys miss some shots on the Heat, which helps as well. But then the offense, they're driving. They're kicking. Players are making threes. Al made a couple big ones. Early in the game. Grant was huge tonight. Don't worry. I'm going to talk about him at some point, so we'll get to that. Joe Mazzulla made the right rotational decisions. Right, the defense looked better. The game plan looked better. Like they just looked like the team that you needed to see in Game 1. And I tweeted this out. Like I said, they played hard in the first half, and I tweeted they're playing with the intensity that they needed to bring in Game 2, because I think they played hard in Game 1. They just fumbled in the third. They're playing with the intensity they needed to bring in Game 2 in this one. The execution wasn't there, and then when the execution came around in the second half, it came together, and you saw why we keep saying the Celtics are the more talented team. The Heat are just the better team. And the talent finally showed up in Game 4, which, like you said, it might be too little too late, but it's nice to see that it's still there.
Yeah. Tatum was great today,
Phenomenal.
As he was in Games 1 and 2. The difference was he came out, obviously sat the first couple minutes of the fourth quarter, comes back in the game, gets a catch at the free throw line, and makes the turnaround jumper. What was crazy is he wasn't triple teamed. And then he continued to play good, continued to knock down shots, and he wasn't triple teamed. It's wild that he can make shots when he's not triple teamed. Oh my God, he made a field goal in the fourth quarter. Can you believe it? Yeah, because he wasn't triple teamed. These guys on the broadcast, the analysts on Twitter, like people that have played in the NBA are like calling him out for not making a field goal. He's triple teamed. He's making the right play.
Good. And you know what's crazy? It's crazy. Sorry, not to cut you off. It's crazy that Jayson Tatum cannot be triple teamed when his teammates actually make shots.
Exactly. I tweeted it. Yeah. It's wild when like Grant Williams has 14 points, how they can't just be like, hey, we're going to throw literally everybody at Tatum. Yeah. Also, I mean, all 5 starters were pretty solid today. Jalen wasn't great, but and Marcus had a rough start, but they all hit double figures. Kind of important.
Yeah, it was a good all-around game for the Celtics starters. Like you said, Smart played pretty well. Al Horford hit his shots, which he really needed to. Smart still was inefficient, but he was doing like the hustle plays. He was getting out in transition. You could tell that he was
Do
more
they have the
impactful player.
splits for the half yet? I'm curious what his second half was.
Yeah, let me look here. I could just go
Combine
to
this with game one, and you would have like the best game ever. Like the first half of game one plus the second
Yeah.
half of game four for Marcus.
Hold up, let's see here. Excuse me. Third quarter through fourth quarter. Is this the second half? This is just the second half, I think. I don't know why it just doesn't say second half. Marcus Smart, 6 points, 1 assist, 2 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3.
Oh, there you go.
So it's better. It's more efficient, and that's what you need. But no, yeah, just like, is this right? No, I feel
I don't
like
think
this
that's
isn't
right.
correct.
That's definitely
No,
not right.
I don't think the game book is updated. Sorry.
Game book is cooked.
Hold on, I can just do some quick maths. Okay, that was the third quarter. 6 points,
Okay.
2 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3 in the third, and then in the fourth, it hasn't updated yet, so I
Okay.
don't know. But he was definitely better in the second half, all things considered. Jaylen Brown had a better game. I mean, the bar was the floor, but he had a better game.
He kind of had a better game because he was more under control. What did he turn the ball over?
Only once, which is what you need.
He had 5 fouls, really.
Mm.
Turned the ball over once. But when it was just him out there at the beginning of the fourth quarter, things were not going well. They wholeheartedly needed Tatum to be in this game when they were playing successful basketball.
Tatum was great.
Going forward, you're not going to get away with that. Brown has to be able to create for you. It's good he didn't force things. He was a little bit more passive today, which was kind of a good thing. He was making smart plays. He kicked out of a three.
He had a couple good
under the
passes.
basket.
Yeah.
Like, he was making the right basketball decision today, which is a step in the right direction. However, you are going to need him to be able to knock down the shots and be the bucket getter that we've kind of talked about all season, that we've had the confidence in, because there's going to come a time where you're not up 17 points. I said to my dad while we were watching the game, and it was when they were making that run in the third quarter. I think they cut it to 3. And I was like, this is crazy, because in order for them to win this game, they're going to really have to have this run be an avalanche. So it's a blowout, because if this is a close game, they're not going to win. And that was kind of the case. It never got, closer than 5 in the fourth?
Something like that. I know once they went on the huge run, I think the Heat only cut it to like 13. Like, I didn't get below double digits in like the last 5 minutes. Like,
if they manage to win a close game, like say game 5's close and they win, you can really start playing in the Hall of the Mountain King. Like, it's building up. Like, uh-oh.
I will say,
watch the Red Sox in 2004.
They put it on the broadcast.
Very tough for Miami having Jeter and A-Rod in the arena.
Yeah, I saw.
Interesting decision by them. I was anti it all day. Still don't know how on the wagon I am with that.
That helps, though.
They have to prove it to me a little bit more. I'm back interested though, and I saw enough to somewhat be like, okay, like there is something here.
There's something.
It would have been cool if they didn't just die in game 3 and actually showed some sort of effort, or didn't blow like the first 2 games. Like, let's not pretend they didn't blow those games. Miami absolutely out executed them down the stretch in both of them.
They're better,
but they were winnable games. Make no mistake.
Definitely.
What did you think would happen in a close game?
Yeah. And then circling back to Brown, he was also better on defense. Like in the past few games, like, I'm not saying he was necessarily like terrible on defense in the first 3 games, but you look at the Jaylen Brown that shut down James Harden versus the Jaylen Brown you've been getting on defense this series, and there's a very stark difference.
I don't think he needed a break.
Yeah. I don't think
games off.
He legitimately might be injured. I think what you said, like he might have be dealing with an elbow thing. It's not an excuse for putting the effort, but he didn't get back to the level of he's clamping up, like he was against James Harden, but he was a lot better and he put in a lot more effort on the defensive end in this one, which was good. Jayson Tatum, like you said, we were texting earlier about, can Brown be the number 1? This was before the game when we were in shambles. Like, can Brown be a number 1? Can Tatum be a number 1? And I said firmly that yes, Tatum can be a number 1. And the reason I said firmly Tatum, yes, Brown only in the right situation is because of games like this, where not only did he have 33 points, 14 of 22 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3, but he also had 11 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. Jayson Tatum is fully capable of being the fulcrum of an offense. Jaylen Brown is one of the best scorers in the NBA. but Jayson Tatum is one of the best players in the NBA. Jaylen Brown's up there too, but Jayson Tatum is capable of running a team when he needs to. And 7 assists, 5 turnovers. You'd like that number to be down, but that's because he's got the ball in his
fairness
hands.
to his recovery, it felt like 3 of them came right off rip.
True.
He had at least 2 like in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, they were hounding him. But great
Again,
game from
triple
Tatum.
team because they literally don't respect anybody else on the team.
Big from Horford too. 3 of 6 from 3. You need that. You just need it from him. Solid defense as well. Derek White with just a massive game. Finally got some extra minutes. 27 tonight. 16 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks.
He had it from the get-go.
Better defense on Jimmy. Jimmy still attacked the matchup, but he seemed to stand firm a bit more. Derek White still has one of the weirdest whistles in the league, though. Like he'll get called for some ghost fouls, and he won't say anything. But it's a very niche thing that I've noticed over the course of the season. Like he'll just pick up weird fouls. Rob was solid. You could tell he had an impact on the defensive end, which is huge. But like I said, the biggest thing for me in this one, not Grant. I mean, yes, but we'll get to that. The biggest thing for me in this one, Joe played the right people. Like, and as I've excuse me, sorry, as I've cooled off from game 3, as much as the Celtics could probably have a better win now ready coach, you have to step back, and I've seen it a lot with like all the shitty discourse on Twitter today. Like, Joe was really just thrown into this. Like he didn't apply. He didn't like go through a process. Like, you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah, it wasn't up on Indeed.
Thrust into this role. And
no, he did apply, but it was like one of them jobs you see on Indeed, and you're like, I'll never get this. And then like you get an interview, and they're like, when can you start? And he's like, what?
I completely get the calls to fire him, and I'm not even going to disagree with it. But you can see the difference in the rotations in this one. After game 2, all I talked about after game 2 was, okay, Joe Mazzulla refused to play Robert Williams and Derek White down the stretch. And they were the second and third best players in game 2. And he just wouldn't play them. In this one, Malcolm Brogdon, 16-30. Derek White, 27-20. Grant Williams, 29. You played the people that were playing well instead of just blindly going with Malcolm Brogdon. I think a big part of that is, I don't know if this is how Joe's brains works, but in my mind, or how I perceive it, is Malcolm Brogdon shoot well, Malcolm Brogdon get minutes. And
Agreed.
I don't think that's necessarily how it should work, because
Joe's got the like 2K, like when you can go in and go minute by minute and set your rotations. Like he's got that, and he just has it set to like auto rotations.
Yes, and I was glad to see him break the auto rotations tonight. Because Malcolm Brogdon, I've become a hater at this point. But like he's been bad. He's been objectively terrible this season.
He was terrible today.
Good. And luckily Joe didn't play him 33 minutes. And I don't care if he shot 3 of 6 in game 1 or whatever he shot in whatever game.
Did he have the IHOP waiter forearm sleeve on today?
I don't know. I didn't notice.
I don't think he did. Eyeball emoji to that. Maybe he's back. Next game, maybe he's back.
Hey, we'll see. But I'm glad Joe played the right people. That was a big thing for me. I think this was a better Joe game.
Yeah. Good game from Joe.
Yes.
He had perhaps like the LeBron face where it's game 6 LeBron, but it's Joe standing there.
I love your meme. I don't know if it's you who tweeted this or somebody else. There's just a picture of Joe floating around him looking really confused.
I don't have that one. Dude, I'm telling you, I can't trash the guy too hard. It's probably illegal because I'm from Rhode Island. Like the police will just come and take me away.
Yeah, no, better Joe game. But I am legally obligated.
Well, you're allowed. You're not from here.
Okay,
you're not from around here, are you?
That's not what I was gonna say, but I'm not fully back on the Joe train. But it's not Jover anymore.
It's not Jover. It's like
that's easily one of my favorite memes.
Yeah.
I love Jover.
I like it's Clover too. And
those are phenomenal. But yes. But I am legally obligated to talk about Grant Williams. I'm sorry. I have to do it.
It's okay.
He was he wasn't the best player. I'm not going to go that far, but I genuinely believe he was the most impactful player in this game. And I messaged the Celtics blog chat because I'm going to write about him for the morning, and I said I want to write about Grant
Shocker.
Williams. Yeah, right. And
Everybody was like, "Wow, that was minus like 1,500 odds."
Yeah, but Bill Sy, the editor, asked me like why, and like just like I think he was being sarcastic, but I answered him, and what I said was, or Bill like asked what did he do, and being sarcastic, but I answered, I'm like,
He had a super cool block.
Yeah, right, but no, I genuinely think he is the only player on the roster who has cared every single time he's touched the court in this series.
I think Rob
maybe, but
I
like,
think
you know
Rob
what I'm
deserves
saying?
a shout.
Sure, but in terms of intensity, caring, always going all out, no matter what, bringing the heat, no pun intended, he is like number one, not close for me this series. And as much as you can laugh, and as much as he got absolutely dunked on, trashed on after talking trash to Jimmy Butler's game 2, right? After talking trash to Jimmy Butler in game 2. I said it right after to you, and I came back on it a little bit, but I'm back on where I was in the first place. Like, if you trash on him for that, you don't know ball. I'm sorry.
Was wrong.
Sure.
And I retracted it.
And I respect that, but like, how are you going to, before that, on our pregame show, tune in 30 minutes for every game, by the way, there'll be one for game 5. There you go. On the pregame show, our chat was literally begging for Marcus Morris because that's how little intensity was in this series from the Celtics. Grant goes out there and shows the tiniest sliver of it, getting in Jimmy Butler's face. And he's the reason they lost. That's absolutely ridiculous. Jay King, I'm sorry, I'm almost done. King wrote a whole article, and he framed it as Grant Williams. What was it? He poked the bear, but the Celtics need to be the bear, and that's it. There's no better way to phrase it. Grant Williams went at Jimmy Butler trying to spark something, and the Celtics wilted into the background, did not support him, and crumbled the rest of the game. People look at the stats. They say, oh, Jimmy Butler, he scored 8 points, down the stretch. He led them. The Heat went on this massive run. In the final 8 minutes of the game, Jimmy Butler had 8 points. Grant Williams had 7 points. And the rest of the fucking Celtics team had 5 points. That's not Grant Williams' fault. He outscored the rest of the team in the final 5 minutes, and he was the only one who had a field goal in the last 8 minutes of the game. Not to mention he was the only one who gave a shit. And he's the reason they lost? Hell no. He's the only person who's cared every time he stepped on the court. And then in game 4, you finally see the results. He got 29 minutes, 13 seconds. That was his playing time. 4th on the team behind the Jays and Marcus. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, a block, the massive block on Jimmy, which I'm pretty sure he turned around and said something to him. I would have to double check, but I think he turned the head a little bit. 4 of 7 from the field, 4 of 6
he
from
thought
deep.
Better of it.
Yeah,
he was maybe not.
He was phenomenal in this game. He deserves all the credit in the world, and it is an absolute joke that he was not in the playoff rotation. That is like number one reason why Joe is on my shit list. It makes no sense. The stupidest decision I've ever seen. He's literally been great every time he's touched the floor outside of those like 30 seconds in game 5 against Philly. He's been great every other times outside of that. And they just decided, you know what, this guy, and Bobby Manning's been big on this too. So I'm like, I'm stealing from him a little bit here. This is a guy who got 27 plus minutes all last season, all last playoffs, played a huge role, came in, started the year, played a ton of minutes. And then he's just DNP. No fucking sense. Absolute crap. And he's showing you why it was bullshit now. So I'm done. Sorry.
Well, yeah. Few things. One, maybe instead of talking to Jimmy, he should have said to Brown and Tatum, get like me, and just got in their face.
He does get in their face. He got in Jalen's face in this game.
No, I mean in game 2. Too little too late from Grant now.
Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Also, Marcus Morris, Grant Williams is the harassment meme at work where it's the handsome guy and it's Marcus Morris. And then the fat guy is Grant Williams, and she's calling HR.
That's a good way.
That's what I wanted to say. As far as Grant goes, though, he really was excellent today. He made some big threes. He was playing pretty good defense, and he was impactful. Obviously earned the half hour he spent on the floor. And I'm really happy he's playing well. It's important to have guys making threes in this series. You saw how important it was to Tatum, who wasn't triple teamed today, so he can make shots in the fourth quarter. Can you believe it? Having somebody, first of all, it was great that Horford started hot too, because that he is, again, an important player for the Celtics team. When these guys aren't making threes, you might as well just put me out there and say good luck. But Grant, another guy that can make threes, another guy that can play defense. Big asset for you in this series. Okay? You've won one. Could have won three. Probably could have won three. But you have one. Okay? So now you can take it one game at a time. You go out Thursday night and you make threes again. And you try. And when they play zone, maybe put Tatum at the free throw line instead of having him handle the ball 30 feet from the basket. Perhaps that's a good idea. Or Smart. You can put Smart at the free throw line. He makes good decisions. But that's a key place to touch the ball. You put me at the free throw line. I'm very good at that. It's like the one thing I can do is just turn around there and make shots. They're on the baseline.
Yeah. They did a better job at breaking the zone in game 4.
It was awesome. It was like, wow. 3 years later, it's like
I think it's especially frustrating because, like you said, like that's just something I didn't even play basketball in high school because I was short and
I was on the team, but I didn't really play either. So
I know, but like my point is, like anybody could make that adjustment. My sister could make that adjustment. Like, what are we doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's not even a shot at Mazzulla. That's a shot on like why aren't the Celtics just doing it of their own?
Well,
right?
Actually, what happened is Mazzulla took them to a church league game in Miami, and he said, "Wow, watch these little kids break the zone." And then they figured it out.
Oh man, no, I mean it was very nice to see them finally find a way to break Miami's defense because they just, I mean, to put it simply, they haven't been able to.
In 3 years, they haven't been able to.
Yeah.
Spoelstra, and it was funny in the fourth quarter, right? Boston plays this awesome third quarter. It was essentially the reverse third quarter from game 1. Boston scores 38. Miami only has 23. Then they come out in the fourth, and Spoelstra slaps that zone on. And did I text you? And I was like, look at this.
Not sure.
Spoelstra's like, yeah, I'm going to start trying now. And he just put the zone on, and they started to melt when Tatum was on the floor. I was like,
they did.
I was like, wow, like he like got all of us. He got every single one of us. He got us all excited, and he said, okay, boys, go do old reliable. These guys are morons. Luckily for them,
they finally broke it.
They put Tatum back in, and he came out and made a jump shot, and that was the end of it. But, man, they were playing with fire there at the beginning of the fourth quarter. These guys go as Tatum goes, I guess. Credit to Tatum.
So.
He played like a leader today, especially in the second half. They were kind of trashing him at halftime. Shaq, Chuck, all of them, deservedly so. I mean, these guys really didn't look that great in the first half. They hung around just enough. Usually it's the other team that the Celtics let hang around. It was nice to be on the other end of that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. No, definitely. I now have to pose you the difficult question of where does this leave the Celtics? Like, they're coming back home where they haven't been particularly great for game 5. You have to imagine they're feeling all right. You have to imagine they know what to do now.
I hope they feel terrible. Whatever they felt before today, I hope they feel it.
Good. Eric Spoelstra's definitely going to have adjustments because he's Eric Spoelstra.
Very true.
I'm not asking for a prediction, but how are you now feeling moving forward? Does it change anything? Is it? Yeah, sure.
It's 3 o'clock. We're back.
For those who don't know, the meme
Pull it up.
3 o'clock. What are the sayings? How does it go? Run me through.
It's over is 9 o'clock. It's so over is 12 o'clock. We're back is 3 o'clock. We're so back is 6 o'clock. It's a big wheel, big cycle of being a sports fan. Here it is.
Yes,
we pulled it up. And there it is. So it's 3 o'clock right now. We're back.
It's so over. We're back. So we're back, as in you're feeling okay heading into game 5?
They're at home. Now, again, been very good hosts in the playoffs. Very good to their guests. Let them leave with some party favors. I'd imagine. I saw Bill Koch of the Providence Journal tweet this out. If they just roll in a bunch of these old Red Sox players and they just lean into this and just put them up on the big screen, maybe you'll get some juice from the crowd. And I also love the trashing of the home crowd. Like they don't have a reason to be antsy after paying like half their 100%. Kids' college tuition to go to a playoff game where the team can't be reliable.
Definitely.
So we'll see what they do in game 5. Last series, we thought they would come out in game 5 and play for real. They didn't.
Yeah.
Thought they might come out in game 3 of this series and play for real. Thought they come out in game 2. They kind of played okay in game 2, but then they melted per usual. So there is no predicting the Celtics team. Like you said, you didn't ask me for a prediction. But right now, I feel good. I feel good about what I just watched. I saw them adjust mid-game, which we don't always get to see, but they finally cracked down on the zone.
Yeah.
You saw them dig deeper and find another level defensively in that third quarter. I mean, mind you, Miami did get sloppy. Like, you can't give the Celtics complete credit. Like, things didn't go perfectly for Miami in the first time in this series.
Mm-hmm.
First time in how long in the playoffs for these guys? Like, I texted you about this. It's kind of crazy what happens when, like, Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent aren't the second coming of Jordan and Pippen.
And Caleb Martin was in the first half.
Yeah.
And as much as it's annoying, like, you got to give him credit. They're playing out of their minds.
I mean, he drives to his left every time and finishes with his right. How do they not know this is coming? Yeah.
Brutal.
And if the Heat fans find us today, which I'm not sure they're going to, this is not a game that you go seeking the opponent's podcast. If you do, welcome back. And yes, you're probably upset that I just trashed those two guys. But Gabe Vincent, by the way, came into this series in the playoffs 38-36 splits. So actually, I think it's less than 36-33.
Hope Gabe Vincent's okay, by the way. That looked nasty, that ankle. That was ugly to see.
See, I didn't even see it. Like, I was watching the game, but they kept showing replays where, like, Jaylen Brown was just in the way. Don't pull it.
You didn't? Okay, well, it was non-contact. He didn't, like, land on anybody's foot.
Yeah, he rolled his ankle.
Straight on his ankle.
You had the PTSD.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
His shoes are similar to your shoes. Similar color. Yeah, it was light blue.
Oh, yeah. It was worse than mine, so I hope he's okay.
Oh, it was worse than yours?
Yeah, no, it was really bad.
And Lowry, he was dead for 5 seconds, and then he was back.
Yeah, he got right back up. Not a prediction, but it's technically a prediction, but it's not like a series or score prediction. If the Celtics shoot 40% from 3, they will have a chance. That is my very, very obvious prediction. But seriously, though, they shot 40% today. They shot 45 threes of their 84 shots. And as much as you say, like, oh, they need to do this, like, that is how they've played all season. And the reason it hasn't worked is because their guys are cold. And if their guys are cold, they're not going to win anyways at this point. As much as you want to say let me finish. As much as you're going to say have a backup plan.
Asking a lot for my internet to work.
I know. As much as we're going to sit here and say, have a backup plan, shoot more threes, blah, blah, blah. Like, at this point in the season, they're simply not going to have that backup plan. They're simply not going to change the way they've played all season. This is who they are. They are a very high volume 3-point shooting team. The backup plan is to have Jayson Tatum and or Jaylen Brown drive to the paint and play really well. But, like, this is who they are. And as much as you can disagree if that's who they should be, that's just who they are. They're a high 3-point shooting team. And if they shoot well from 3, they're going to win. And if they don't, they're going to lose. And if they play defense, that will obviously help if they don't shoot well. But for the most part, 3-point shooting is the way the Celtics are going to win, like it or not. That's just who they are.
Well, many are saying Miami didn't score 100 points today.
They also, you're right.
Could be a reason Celtics won this game.
Defense is also huge. I will also counter by saying
some would say in the third quarter when they were turning them over a bunch of times, that was really big.
It was good. It was also big that you got Al Horford not hitting 0 threes and Marcus Smart.
We talked about this. It's super important for Tatum not getting triple teamed. If they can make threes, it makes things easier on the stars. The floor gets spaced. Spoelstra is an all-in coach. I'll give you an example. Game 7 last year, Celtics are up 13 with like 3 minutes left. And then he just commits to leaving guys wide open from 3 and daring them to shoot. And Smart missed 4 or 5. And Jimmy Butler was like a foot away from making me go into cardiac arrest with a game-winning 3. He commits. He is an extremist coach. You see it with the zone. You've seen it in the fourth quarter. These first 3 games when Tatum was in games 1 and 2. Again, triple teams every time. He's just sending the house at Tatum and blitzing him because there was nobody else the Celtics could rely on. Today, he wasn't able to do it. You know why? Horford, 3 of 6. Derek White, 3 of 7 from 3. Grant, 4 of 6. When these guys are reliable and just hanging out there, yeah. Also, Shout out to Derek White for doing a little bit on the drive today too.
Mhm.
He's at his best when he's allowed to get inside and somewhat create for other guys. He's not doing anything crazy. He's not Kyrie doing crazy layups or anything. But when he's able to bump somebody and make a couple floaters, that's big too. Those are good baskets to get.
Yeah. Agree.
Big brain take
Agree.
from me. Easy basket's good, but really, it's important when he's able to do that.
This is also another big brain take, but like 3-point shooting, defense, like that's how they win the series. I don't, and as much as you say like, oh, get to the hoop, shoot mid range, as much as that's cool, that's not who this team is. That's not how they're going to win games.
In
It's
fairness,
just not how they're going to win games.
They do need to shoot mid range if they're playing a zone at the free throw line.
Sure, but if they don't take and make threes, they're not going to win.
That's true. They have to make the threes right now.
Mm-hmm. That's just not how.
I'd imagine. I'm not saying Spoelstra's not going to adjust because he is. Mm-hmm. But I'm imagining he's going to be like, prove it again. Do it again.
Yeah.
Make a bunch of threes again.
Where's the clock going to be if they do end up winning game 5? Inching towards 6?
Inching towards 6.
Probably like a 4 p.m.
If they win game 5, it's like, okay, they've done this before.
Eyes emoji. It's eyes emoji.
It's eyes emoji. Because they've come back from 3-2 twice.
Yes.
This year.
As Greeny said, plenty of teams have come back from down 3-1.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll say this too. I've written about this multiple times throughout the playoffs. As frustrating as it is to hear the Celtics spew the same crap after every game, because they do. It's very frustrating. I know you've been a big mock the post-game quotes.
Oh, I can't.
I know. But the good thing about them is they say the same thing no matter if they win or lose. It's almost always the same crap. And that's because they should
come out after wins and be like, nobody can
we need to be
us.
better. Yeah, or no.
We're the best team ever.
Genuinely, if there was a team to just keep looking forward, like as much as they often don't learn from their mistakes, like they're not thinking about the past game. They just do the same stupid stuff, right? They completely leave the past game in the past. And as much as it's frustrating when they make the same mistakes and they say the same post-game quotes, it's like after a win, it's a good thing that they look ahead and they don't dwell on the win and they don't, bask in the victory. So I do think they will push forward. Now, I'm not sitting here saying they're going to win because I truly have no idea with this team anymore. But I do think it bodes well for them that they refuse to live in the past. I texted you after this. I said my favorite quote is don't live in the past, learn from it. And if the Celtics don't do that, they're not going to win. And if they do, they have a small chance. That's it.
I can't wait. I just can't wait. So, oh my God, if they get this to 7 games and then they lose, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Disaster.
I was saying to my dad downstairs while we were watching the game, I was like, I would have rather them lose today than go to 7 and lose. Because on TNT, they showed the graphic of like this many teams lost in 4 games when they went down 0-3, this many in 5, 6, etc. It was only 3 for game 7. And he was like, wow, 3 went to game 7. And I was like, yeah, I would literally hate that. That would be the worst thing ever.
I will also say it would be a very Celtics thing to do.
Oh, you bet it would. It would be
to win everything.
Yeah.
Or like win the series. Yeah. That would be the most fucking Celtics thing on the planet if they just won the series.
Well, what's cool is they didn't get swept like another team.
This is true.
Yeah.
Hey, the last however many minutes of the show. Peace out, Bozo.
Yeah,
at least
Bozo.
the Celtics. Hey, the Heat and the Celtics. If there's any Heat fans listening to this, even you guys can appreciate it. At least the Celtics didn't get swept like the Lakers. Lakers packed up. See you later. I'll also say it was. I saw a tweet about this. LeBron James, low-key big brain for saying he might retire. So now the attention isn't on the sweep. It's on is he going to play?
Anybody believing LeBron's going to retire, little brain. Because more than anybody on the planet, LeBron wants the farewell circle jerk tour.
Yes.
Look at me. He is the biggest look at me guy like ever. If you thought he was going to, if you have any inkling of your being that thinks he's going to retire without that, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I truly do not know. I have nothing for you.
The real question is, do you think he stays in LA?
He's under contract.
Yeah, but if he's LeBron, if he says,
get me out, his kids in college in Southern California, he's not going anywhere.
Hey, I was just asking.
Kevin O'Connor says Warriors. He winked at it.
Imagine And the scenes, this, you know, it would be fire. I hope they trade Draymond for LeBron.
That
So
would be
there's-
kind of funny. Yeah, that would be really funny because Draymond's like, please
No,
come
let me-
play with me.
Let me take it a step. They should trade Draymond and Poole, so they're still on the same team, and Draymond doesn't get to be teammates with LeBron.
If Draymond
Oh.
joins the Lakers, D'Lo's getting punched. Maybe Austin Reeves. I don't know too much about his personality, but all it's going to take is one like step back at the free throw line.
I'm
him jumper on Draymond in practice for him to get his nose broken. And then who else? Anthony Davis. Can't punch him because he'd miss the whole season. Who else is on that team? Mo Bamba. Maybe they turn on the song about him.
Tristan Thompson.
And Draymond can't believe that Mo Bamba has a song. Punch.
Jordan Poole's going to get the recoil. He's going to punch somebody else, and he just gets the back.
Well, everything I've read about the punch is like he was being a prick and like giving Steve Kerr a hard time.
Jordan Poole.
Kind of, yeah. I kind of back Draymond in that. If that's what the story is, and that's true, have some respect for your coach, buddy. You're 23. I mean, what have you really done? You're on the championship team last year, but these other guys have all been a team for years. Kerr has been the leader of that team. Have some respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
good.
fair.
If that's true, and that in all serious, all jokes aside, even though it is funny, like that happened, like good for Draymond. Knock some sense into him.
Literally.
Yeah. I was thinking about it today before this game happened. And I was like, what if the Celtics went and got Draymond? Like if they found a way to get him where he wasn't super duper expensive, I wonder if he'd be good. Obviously, he doesn't fit the 3-point shooting, but I think Draymond to an extent is a good leader.
You know who they should trade for him?
What'd you say?
Did you know who they should trade for him?
Marcus?
Oh,
who?
My hate tour. Let's get my hate tour going.
Brogdon?
Yep. Get it.
Jaylen
Let's do it. Pack it. No, Brogdon. Pack him up. Let's see.
I would eyeball it at Draymond on the Celtics. I like Draymond. I've always said Draymond would be a good Celtic.
I do Brogdon for Draymond.
I don't know. Well, I don't think it's going to happen now.
No, it wouldn't, but I would. I would make the trade. You have Pritchard still. It's fine.
You do have Pritchard.
Yeah,
Pritchard
then you could roll out.
Had a basket today, right?
You did?
Yes,
Good
1 of 1. 4 points, free throws too.
Good for Pritchard.
Big
Yeah,
1
man.
minute for Pritchard.
No longer the
36.
leader in field goals in the fourth quarter, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Draymond. Do you think Draymond stays in Golden State? I mean, we're just
Yes.
rambling at this point. Do you think he stays in Golden State?
I do.
Do you think, what about like Poole, Wiggins? Like, what do you think changes on that team?
Well, I think I'm not Poole. I think Wiggins is staying for sure.
Yeah, but Poole,
I
you
think
gone?
Poole has the biggest like possibility to be traded. Same with Kuminga because he's like, they're not playing me. And then Kerr kind of said like this guy needs to work to earn minutes.
I think they should call up the Raptors and say, give me Siakam and Anunoby, and we'll give you Poole, Kuminga, Gary Payton, and whatever picks, and hang up the phone and make that deal.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
the
it's nice
Raptors
to
already
talk about other
wanted
teams doing stuff instead of having
Yeah.
to figure out what the hell the Celtics will do.
Yeah,
Which
the
we could
Raptors
very well be doing on Thursday.
We could. Raptors already wanting Kuminga though, so like I feel like they'd pick up the phone at the very least. But
The Warriors are weird. They have these young guys,
Yeah.
and obviously they tried to do like a mix of timelines, kind of like the
the
Celtics
two
did a couple
timelines
years
thing,
ago.
it worked for 1 year. I mean, they won, so
They did
whatever.
win, and Wiseman got the super cool picture with the trophy.
Yep.
But
He got
really,
shipped
we can
out.
all be happy that the Lakers lost.
Yes.
You can wipe the sweat off your forehead. They're not winning another championship this year.
Huh.
Jokic, big win for out of shape guys. He literally like stumbles his way to the finals. Not that he didn't play well, but he's just not really that coordinated. That Jokic shot was insane. If you showed me a video of that and you grayed out the other team and you said, what team did this happen against? I would tell you the Celtics. Like that.
Jokic.
I just watched Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent light up the Celtics for 3 games.
Yeah.
I'm prepared for anything.
Genuinely, I think Jokic is the best player on the planet. I'm dead ass. I'm ready to say it. He's the best player in the world. He is.
I really am not fair to have this conversation with because I have not watched any of these games, and not on purpose. It's just
He's
like
disgusting.
when the Celtics
does
have their off days, like
everything.
I have to get my like hangout time in, whether
Yeah.
it's friends or whoever else.
I haven't even watched
Kalen.
super closely, but like watching what I have, watching him defensively, which has been better, watching him offensively, which is just even better than he ever has been. Especially with the Giannis getting knocked at first round.
The
Jokic
best
the
is
best player on the
when you
planet.
introduce somebody to basketball and you're like, "Hey, look at this guy. He's good." Would you believe that? And he's just out there like stomping around.
I saw a video on TikTok today, and it was like POV, you're playing Jokic, and it's just they have him running in like slow motion with the music, like dun, 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 like him getting up the court, and then the video is like just him standing over a player, and it's like looking up. He goes, "Damn, this guy is huge," and they have him run into a screen. The guy just dies after running into the screen. It's very funny. Jokic
What's interesting with the
he's a
Lakers,
behemoth.
though, D'Angelo Russell will not be asked back. I can't imagine they're going to be like, "Please come back and play for us."
Really?
Does
You
that
think
mean they
so?
go? I mean, he sucked. He was terrible in these playoffs.
I
Well,
know, but
not these playoffs as a whole, but this series, he was really bad.
can you really base a future contract off of one series, though?
I mean, we've had some conversations about a certain individual.
I know, but like, I don't think that Celtics would trade Jaylen Brown based on the series alone. I think it would be. I think it's different though, genuinely, because I think no, seriously,
Jack from
like,
6 hours ago might tell you something different.
no. No, I'm gonna go back. I think the reason the Celtics could consider a Jaylen trade this summer if they end this way is because of how long they've been together.
It's true.
This Lakers core has been together for half a season, and they were really good in that half a season.
Well, the reason I say that is truly because
Kyrie,
and he's
Yeah.
been hanging out at these games. I don't really buy it.
LeBron
Dallas
could do the
has
whole
supposedly
I'm retiring, get me Kyrie.
It's true. That was part of the Ringer article today about that too.
Yeah.
But according to Bleacher Report, Kyrie has had a handshake agreement with the Mavericks. Prayers for them because they're going to get killed for tampering since before he was traded. It sounds like he's going to be there for a 3+1. So good on them. They get 4 years
Well,
maybe of crazy.
We've seen Kyrie say he'd
This
go
is
one
very
place
true.
before. You know,
Actually,
I
if
mean,
Kyrie says he's going to play for your team, that means he's not playing for your team.
yeah, so idiot Mavericks.
Oh man, if you went to the Lakers, are the Lakers the most hateable team ever from a Celtics standpoint?
Yes, objectively.
LeBron, Kyrie, and the Lakers?
And Anthony Davis.
And
don't forget.
Davis and his stupid dad?
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, I hate those guys.
Yeah, that might
And they
be
have
it.
Austin Reeves running around saying he's him.
And hear me out. Don't know if they're better. If it
Oh,
costs them, like
if they get Kyrie on the team, you don't think
if they get
moves the
Kyrie,
needle at all?
if they can bring back Reeves, Hachimura, like the same depth pieces, then I think they'll be a better team than they were. But like if getting Kyrie cost them, and I don't know the math off the top of my head, like if they can't bring back Reeves and or Hachimura or someone else offers and they can't match because they signed Kyrie, they will be a worse team. Because it will just be the Russell Westbrook thing over again. I don't care about, he's a better fit. It's sacrificing star power at the expense of or adding star power at the expense of depth. And we realized in today's NBA that's just not how it works necessarily.
Yeah, it's true. We've talked about this in recent days because we're like, what the hell do the Celtics do if they lose?
I texted you that the Nuggets have built the perfect NBA team. Genuinely, they have the superstar, the
You had
potential
big
best
fat
player in
white
the
guy.
world. Yep. They have the bucket getter / ball handler who's
I'm
been
really mean
elite.
to Jokic.
Jamal Murray's great. They have a great third star who's one of the best shooters in the world. They have a great defensive leader. Aaron Gordon's amazing on that side of the ball. They have arguably one of the best 3-and-D players in the league in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. They have a great jack of all trades guy who just does everything in Bruce Brown. They have an amazing veteran in Jeff Green, as much as you want to laugh at it, like he just is. Like
Former
they have
Celtic.
built a great roster, like, and a good coach who they've stuck with, like, and they have good team chemistry. Like the Nuggets are everything the Celtics are in the East and just in the West. And
Do you remember
if
the
they win
day-
championship, they're better.
Do you remember the day when I texted you and I was like, my mom just met KCP's dad?
Yes, it was
He
funny.
works for Delta, and they were at this company event, and she's like, do you know this NBA player? And sent me a picture of him. And I was like, yeah, why? And she's like, his dad's sitting with me at this event. And she sent me a selfie of the two of them at this Delta event.
Shout out Mr. Caldwell Pope.
He's a grinder, though, because his kid's in the NBA. He's still working.
Legend. What a beast.
Keeps busy. Good for him.
What a guy.
Rat list. Go.
Rat list.
Unprepared.
I thought you were putting
Oh, no.
KCP's
KCP's dad is not on the rat list. He seems like he's very nice.
I thought you were putting him on the rat list. Rat list, yes. I was driving yesterday,
Mm.
going to my dad's house to drop something off, and I have bad road rage, but I rarely use my horn. It's much more internal. Like I'll just yell. I won't like externalize it. I use my horn twice on the way there, and it's a 10-minute drive. First one, I'm driving down the road. Obviously, cars are coming towards me. One car coming towards me takes a left onto a side street, and I'm still going. And the car from the side street at the stop sign goes acceptable. The car behind that one follows without stopping, just rolls right through in front of me. Horn, rat list, bad, can't do that. Wait your turn, bozo. Next one, worse. Cars coming towards me, cars turning left into their driveway. Instead of going all the way left, takes a left and proceeds to turn, driving down towards me.
I saw
laughing at
that
the
shit on your hand. Yeah.
It's a clothespin, but
just on your finger.
I know. I'm trying to demonstrate this though. They're driving towards me, or they're coming towards me on the other side of the road. They go to turn into their driveway, but then they continue to drive towards me on my side of the road. Like they go because they want to back in. So they like go like this. They go like, and they drive towards me and back in. But all I see are headlights coming towards me. So I'm like, I'm about to die. And they're like driving towards me to back in, and they take up like they don't even move over enough. Rat list. I genuinely thought I was about to get into an accident. So 2 driver rat lists there for the people.
Woj, rat list. He's back. 2-time rat list in 2 weeks. Woj, who just continues to put out anti-Celtics propaganda. If you missed it yesterday, he went on TV and he was like, hey, the Celtics aren't trying anymore because they miss Ime Udoka. Right. And it's a very controversial topic. You feel very strongly about it. I feel less strongly just because I don't feel like we know enough yet. But I mean, we don't know. We don't know. But from what we do know, they got rid of him because he broke rules. Essentially, they haven't said anything else, right? You are more educated on this than ignorant old Sam.
He had a relationship with a woman that they thought was consensual at first, or they thought started consensual, and then he started making unwanted in comments towards the woman. And the reason we don't know, presumably, is because there was a legal investigation and lawyers got involved. And if the Celtics had lawyers, Ime Udoka had lawyers, which means you're not going to know. All you need to know is what was thought to be a consensual thing didn't end up being that. Woj and Shams were completely irresponsible and used the word consensual in the first reports, which is all people are ever going to remember now, which is why it's irresponsible. Yeah, which is like gross reporting by those two, irresponsible because they were trying to chase the story and get it out first, which is like both of them deserve to be on the ultimate rat list for that because that's just disgusting. And so that's why I feel strongly about it. And also the people on Twitter, some dude on Twitter, rat list, responded to me. He goes, let me find it. I'm gonna read it verbatim. Yeah, hold up. It was idiot. I sent it.
Yeah, I truly don't know enough. Like, where'd that come from? Like retracted reports? Like Shams. This has been such a mess of
Shams wrote it in an Athletic article.
He did. Okay, the first thing. This has been such a mess of storytelling that I literally am just. Lost.
Don't worry, guys. Guy on Twitter has all of the details. It was consensual to start. He had sex with a married woman who was technically his subordinate, and at some point she decided she was all set and reported him. The C's mishandling of this is why it was a mess. So good thing that this random guy on Twitter knows what happened. Shut the fuck up. You're an idiot.
Woj, by the way, who has the same representation as Ime.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And so people on Twitter were like, honest question, do you have confirmation? I said, like, because I tweeted out.
I don't think that guy was being facetious. I literally think he was asking out of respect for you. Like that he's like, wow, I'm not.
Well, no, let me finish the question. I said just an obscene string of reporting on the subject of a man who cultivated a gross work environment, because that's what he did. If you harass a subordinate woman at your workplace, that's a gross work environment, especially when you're in a leadership role, objectively. Honest question, do you have confirmation that Udoka created a bad work environment? Big difference between consensual relationship and gross work environment. And I said there's no difference between a relationship that is not consensual with another employee in a gross work environment. One breeds the other. And if you don't get that, I don't know what to tell you. And then he asked, did he confirm that it wasn't consensual? And I pulled up the report from Shams, which said this came out after he tweeted consensual, and then he had to pull it back. The second year's coach, blah, blah, blah. Some members of the Celtics organization who first became aware of the relationship in July, source said at the time, team leadership was led to believe by both parties that their relationship was consensual, but sources said that the woman recently accused Udoka of making unwanted comments. So, newsflash, that means it wasn't fucking consensual, you idiot. Don't put that in the tweet because you want to be first. So, that's why I got mad. And the people begging for Udoka back, first of all, from like a humane perspective, gross. Second off, like, it's not like Udoka, like, the problems that are happening under Joe didn't happen under Udoka from a player perspective. Maybe Udoka from a purely basketball perspective was a better coach, but like he wouldn't be the magical solution to all this. I just don't believe that. Anyway.
I will say this about last season. They absolutely had terrible, terrible collapses. Make no mistake.
Mm-hmm.
We know all about it. Game 5 against Milwaukee, I barely slept. But the difference between that run and this run, this year, the Celtics have not climbed back in a game and won. I think I'm correct. Last year, game 2 against Brooklyn, they climbed back from 17. I believe twice against Milwaukee, they clawed their way back in a game. And then they almost come all the way back in game 3 against Miami and like complete like a crazy comeback at home. Game 1 in the finals, they come back in the fourth quarter.
I mean,
they had a little bit extra oomph to not rolling over. But
I suppose
the disgusting blowing leads that I hate more than anything on the planet was still there.
Yeah,
and that's when all the people are like, bring them back.
My counter to that is that means they were also down by X amount of points in all of those games. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like this year they're just blowing people out and then holding it sometimes and blowing.
Well, they're either blowing people out or they're not winning.
Not true. Not entirely true.
For the most part, yes.
Philly game was close and they managed to win it still. They held Atlanta off a couple times. Like, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think
the formula tends to be blowout or loss.
I suppose. My point is Ime Udoka is not the solution people want to believe, and I think that's a stupid take. But
that's
anyways, that's all I got today. That's all I got for the rat list.
Do I have another rat list? LeBron rat list. The retirement thing is stupid. You got swept. You don't want people to talk about you getting swept. You said, "Oh, I might not come back next year." He should have to like pay people if he comes back. just because he annoyed me for one day.
Yeah. He owes Sam a milli.
Yeah, like when I tell people I don't like LeBron, they're like, "Why?" I'm like, "He's insufferable." Like, do you pay attention to the way he acts? Those are just up the whole time.
The banners have been up the whole time. Yeah. It's okay, YouTube. Sorry.
Well, just follow us.
Yeah.
He's insufferable. And if you think he's not coming back next year, I don't know what to tell you. You're trying to put the square peg in the round hole. You're the meme. You're the Celtics after they go up 12. Brain dead.
We'll see. I'm happy we get to do another pregame show, another post.
I am. I'm very excited. Nobody's gonna watch this today, but I'm happy we get another chance to do pregame. I'm happy we get to do another pod, at least one more.
And if you are watching, subscribe to the channel. How about them Celtics? We appreciate the support lately. Go leave us ratings on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's shows have been doing really well there too. Leave a review, and if you're going to be mean to us, or if you want to be nice to us, leave the comments. That's the best part of my day. I put it on YouTube lately. I said
Jack
the best part of my day
says I'm going to go get a coffee.
Yeah,
and then I'm going to read the comments.
I wake up, I make my coffee outside of today when I had Aaron start in the morning. And I sit down, I read my YouTube comments whenever there's a new pod out. And I posted that and I said, that's my routine. And Lewis commented, "Love you, Jack." And I just wanted to say, I love you too, Lewis. You appreciate you. What a beast.
I forgot to mention already. I said on the pregame, good hair day for me. Celtics might win. And they won. First good one of the playoffs. A lot of pressure on me for Thursday.
I was going to say, you better have another good one there.
Big pressure. I'll be on the blow dryer big time.
Yes. We'll see what happens. But I appreciate you guys for listening. Thank you very much. I'll let you go.
Hey, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, you're on the YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave a like, hit the little notification bell so you get all the new pods at 5 a.m. And also, you don't miss those pregame streams that we've been talking about. It's a good time. Chat's been lively lately. We've had some good viewership. We appreciate all the people that are new, all the people that are loyal listeners, and everyone in between. Why not? We appreciate you. On the streaming services, make sure you leave a follow, a 5-star, and a nice comment. We'll appreciate that very much as well. If you want more of us on social, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at How About Them C's. Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can find the pregame streams there as well. If you want more of Jack, you can follow him on Twitter at Jackson1NBA. Be on the lookout for the Grant Williams masterclass coming at you. Bunch of words on Celtics blog. He'll tweet it out, probably scheduled. You can follow me at Sam LaFrance NBA if you want to see me tweet the cycle of being a fan. That's it for us.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
That is bogus! These guys are ridiculous!